What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Friday, May 19th edition of the Bet Pro video. I am your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. We have 12 baseball games tonight, plus at least one or two in the early evening before the main DFS slate start. But 12 games on the main DFS slates, a couple more hanging around, and then the one basketball game tonight as well. So we're going to walk through some of the best player props in MLB and NBA, as we always do. But first, make sure you are subscribed to the Oddshopper YouTube channel, and make sure you hit the thumbs up below this video. That helps us out quite a bit. We are going to do things backwards today, starting with MLB, just because there are more games. There's more stuff to get through. So starting with BetMGM, at the top, we have Gene Segura of the Miami Marlins facing Anthony DeSclafani tonight in San Francisco. Under 1.5 total bases for Segura against DeSclafani. DeSclafani's not a great strikeout pitcher, but he does typically do a pretty good job of limiting damage against him. So we're going under 1.5 total bases for Segura. He projects for 1.1. That gives us a 69% chance of winning and a 12% expected return. Moving over to Caesars, at the top, we have James Paxton under 5.5 total strikeouts at minus 118. He projects for 4.6, which gives us a 61% chance of winning and a 12% expected return. The one thing I will caution here is that there's a lot of volatility in James Paxton. Paxton used to be a legitimate ace, has dealt with a bunch of injuries. He made 5 starts in 2020. He made 1 start last year, he made 1 start in 2021. He made 0 starts last year, and he's now made 1 start this year. He struggled with his control in his rehab starts this year, but looked really good in his first start with Boston against the Cardinals. His fastball was averaging 96 miles per hour. That's in line with what he was doing back in 2019 and previously when he was one of the better pitchers in baseball. So just kind of as a word of caution, I'm not saying that I don't think you should bet the under 5.5 total strikeouts. Just understand that there is more volatility here. If you are risk averse, probably avoid this one just because there's a better chance than usual with somebody like Paxton that like a month from now, you look back and go, oh, wow, this guy still has it. And we should have never been betting under 5.5 total strikeouts. But there is also a pretty good chance that coming back from all of the injuries he's had, he doesn't end up being the same guy, and that this ends up being a good bet. So again, based on the way that we're projecting Paxton, we have a 12% return if we go under 5.5 strikeouts. I'm just trying to add a little bit of context there, where it's very, very difficult to project somebody like this when you really haven't seen them pitch in 3 years and have no idea what their future outlook is. So keep that in mind. If you do want to stay away from Paxton, next we have Segura, who we already talked about, under 1.5 total bases. Ke'Bryan Hayes against Arizona. I believe this is a 6:30 or 6:40 Eastern game. Under 1.5 total bases at 196 gives you an 8% expected return if you didn't want to go to Paxton. Now, before we move over to DraftKings and FanDuel, we are still offering the 7-day free trial of the Bet Pro model. I've said it a lot recently. If you're on the fence, 1, you shouldn't be because it's free. But 2, if you just kind of keep forgetting to do it now. Check it out now because there's just going to be more value for you while the NBA is still going on. We're offering MLB and NBA. You sign up once, you get both. But obviously, once the NBA wraps up, you're down to just MLB. And while that is still valuable, it's not as valuable as having 2 sports. So if you've just kind of been putting it off, there's no reason not to try it out. If you've just been putting it off, I would do it sooner than later, maximize the value. We think that you'll like it and stick around, but you get 7 free days to try it out, bet some of these props using our DFS player projections, and hopefully it pays for itself and you're able to keep using it going forward. But again, just sooner better than later for you, because the more sports you can get with it, the more value you're going to find. Now, moving over to DraftKings, James Paxton, that under 5.5 is at the top. Same caveats, obviously, as on Caesars. Next, we have JJ Bleday against Brandon Bielak tonight in Houston, under half of a total base at plus 120. Bielak hasn't been particularly good in a limited sample in the major leagues, striking out about 19.5% of hitters, 5.25 FIP or so. JJ Bleday is a former top draft pick. He was drafted, I think, 7th overall by the Marlins, traded to Oakland either last year or this offseason. I don't remember. Has some talent, hasn't totally put it all together at the major league level yet. So it's kind of, 2 young guys who haven't put everything together, but we're projecting 1 total base, but because he's plus 120, that gives us a 13% expected value. We expect to win this bet about 51% of the time. And finally, on FanDuel, Carlos Carrasco over 2.5 total strikeouts tonight against Cleveland. Carrasco is a bit of a wild card as well. He is making his first start since April 15th. He threw, I believe, around 50 pitches, give or take, in his most recent rehab start. I'm not expecting him to go super deep into this game, but 2.5 strikeouts is still pretty low. We have him projected for 4.5. That gives us a 73% chance of winning and a 17% expected return. Sort of like I was saying with Paxton, there is certainly some extra volatility here because we don't know exactly how limited Carrasco is going to be. We don't know exactly what to expect from him in his first start in a month, but we do have this as a profitable bet. If you are risk averse and didn't want to deal with Carrasco, you probably also don't want to deal with Paxton. That would leave us with Anthony Rizzo over 2.5 total bases tonight against Cincinnati at plus 185. So to recap, DraftKings baseball on BetMGM, we're going Gene Segura under 1.5 total bases at minus 165. On Caesars, we're going James Paxton under 5.5 total strikeouts at minus 118. But keep in mind, if you are risk averse, maybe look to a different bet, simply because there's a lot of volatility in this James Paxton projection since he has missed most of the last 3 seasons. On DraftKings, same thing with Paxton. Next, we have JJ Bleday under half of a total base at plus 120. And finally, wrapping it up on FanDuel, Carlos Carrasco over 2.5 strikeouts at minus 166. If you're feeling risk averse, you don't want to risk your money on Carlos Carrasco in his first start in a month, then we're looking at Anthony Rizzo over 2.5 total bases at plus 185 tonight against the Reds. Now we're going to flip over to the NBA model. And while we're waiting for that to load, we are also offering a 7-day free trial of our Oddshopper Premium. It is a similar tool to BetPro, but it's a little bit different in that the BetPro model uses our DFS projections. So it's our in-house projections that we use for DFS. And it's a model that we created to compare those projections to the available player props and see where we can find an advantage. For Oddshopper, the projection system is actually lines based. So we're pulling lines from Sharp Sportsbooks and essentially finding what the implied projection is, and then comparing that to lines on books that aren't as sharp. So that's another way that you can approach this. And you also can use the Oddshopper tool to very quickly, just like you can in BetPro, to very quickly find where the best price is on a given player or a given prop, whatever you're looking for. So very similar concept, just a little bit different model, but also a 7-day free trial for that. We also have more sports here. In addition to MLB and NBA, you have pretty much everything that you're looking for on Oddshopper. So if you haven't checked that out, give that a look as well. Same deal, 7 days free. We think you'll like it. Hopefully it pays for itself and you stick around, but very similar to BetPro, just a little bit different model. 7 days free for that as well. Now, going to the NBA side to see what we have available there. Starting on DraftKings, Malcolm Brogdon over 3.5 assists tonight at plus 135. He projects for 4.1, which gives us a 45% chance of winning and a 7% expected return. On FanDuel, we have Gabe Vincent under 3.5 assists at minus 134, projects for 2.9, which gives us a 60% chance of winning and a 6% expected return. On BetMGM, Max Strus under 2.5 threes at plus 105. He projects for 2.7, which gives us a 50% chance of winning and a 4% expected return. And finally, wrapping things up with Caesars, where we have Malcolm Brogdon under 15.5 points at minus 114, 55% chance of winning, 4% expected return. One final reminder as well, if you have not already signed up and deposited at any of the sportsbooks mentioned and you're looking to do so, check the pinned comment below this video. We have links with sign-up bonuses for all of these books. Not only is that going to put money in your pocket right out of the gate, it is also going to increase your ability to make money going forward because you can shop lines, get the best prices, and over time, as you're doing this over and over and over again, those price changes do add up. Typically, you're dealing with small margins when you're talking about sports betting. So finding the best prices is really important. That's why, Oddshopper is really useful. That's why the BetPro tool is really useful. So check out those 7-day free trials. But also, it's why having a bankroll on as many books as possible is important for your profitability as well. That's all I have for you today. Good luck on your bets. Enjoy tonight's games. Enjoy your weekend. And thanks for checking out the video.